Hello, and thank you for following along to our third part of our training. So, specifically for middle school guidance counseling staff, I really wanted to focus upon this concept of digital citizenship. And we speak a lot about it as teachers in the classroom when we work on projects together, and now I'm seeing it a lot and speaking about it a lot now, working with Google Drive and having that ability to comment and collaborate and work with one another at the same time. So, my focus for my training is based off of the concept of having Google products be a great platform to help aid the college application process. And working with middle school counseling staff, I wanted to focus on this idea that even though college is further on the horizon for your specific students, they need to know their actions now on social media can affect them in the future. I really think there's this unaware, that students are unaware pretty much of how and what they say now can affect them later on. I remember when I was in high school, Facebook was literally just coming out, and the use of it and the widespread advertisements were not there when I was there, and it was just a way for you to connect with people who you may be attending the same college with. And now it's a platform in which people are fired. And saying the wrong thing and sharing the wrong thing could potentially hurt you for your job and your future. So I really wanted to figure a way to provide you all with resources that you could then relay to your students and the students that you work with closely to really demonstrate, the permanence of what they say and what's published online and how that never goes away. So, focusing on that, just wanted to give a little background that there is something called COPA, which is the Children's Online Privacy Protection Act, that states that no one under the age of 13 are welcomed on major social media sites. So, example for Facebook, when you sign on, you have to give your birthday, and there's a certain year that stops. It gives you, at this point, it's probably 2000 and probably 1 or 2002, now that we're in 2015, that if you're younger than that age, then you cannot create a Facebook profile for yourself. Obviously, there are people who just select a different age than the year that they're actually born, and I think, that is something that has to be dealt with outside of the school and in the home. But like I said, it's not prevented these tweens from launching themselves into social media. Therefore, it's our job in school, because we see a lot of interactions, cyberbullying, that we really need to do our best to inform them and relay this information that, you have to be smart about what you do and what you say on social media and what's really published out there. There is a motivation for students and adults, and I think the first great discussion that you can have with your students is, well, why do you go on it? Like, why are you using that particular social media platform? What does it do for you? And I found this really interesting poster, which I broke down, about how adults versus teens use their social media. I use it as a way to connect with friends and see what friends from college are doing. It's a way for me to connect with people and family who don't live close to me. But for teens, how they use social media platforms is varyingly different. And right here you see the age breakdown of social media users, and the ages of 13 to 18 is 81%, followed by 18 to 29. So figure that's the college years, that's heading into a job. That's the most Followed by, you have the ages of 30 to 49, 50 to 64, and then 65 plus. But it's very interesting to see that the largest percentage is from the ages of 13 to 29. Also on this poster, it says who uses which social networks the most. And I found it really interesting where you see things like Pinterest, where you can post ideas, DIY projects, do it yourself. And I also found it really interesting that Instagram more adults use than teens, and I really think you're gonna see an increase in that, the usage of teens with Instagram. But right here, you have Twitter and you have Facebook. You have people tweeting all the time. Programs are now hashtagged because there's such a teen influence on getting things out there and creating customized hashtags for certain things. And then Facebook, the most prevalent, 94% of teens who are using Facebook compared to the 67% of adults. Not that adults are that far behind. So like I said, I really think you have to just begin a discussion, not as a way to say, why are you doing this? This is bad, but to kind of let them know that, you're aware that this is going on, and it's just good to have an open forum discussion. What types of communication do you think that social networks are best for? Are they best for finding a job? Are they best for, reconnecting with friends? Are they staying in touch with friends that, maybe from summer camp or sleepaway camp, anything like that? And then what kind of information do you hope to get via and share over social networks? Do you want to share good news? Do you want to share what you're doing? Does it have to be constantly? And what kinds of information is appropriate to share and what isn't? And I think that's really the home run. You start off with this relaxed conversation, but then really get into the nitty gritty of, what is actually appropriate. Sharing things and being happy about things is great, but bashing people and making fun of people, wouldn't be the best way about going and using this social media platform. And definitely reviewing the pitfalls of social media, such as cyberbullying, which I think we see constantly and way too often, and things that they may not be truly aware of, how advertisements are scams, and asking for your information, violating your privacy. And I know you can't see it at the bottom, but I think the biggest home run again for them is that permanence, that what you post now at 13 will stay with you and will stay attached to your identity even when you're applying for colleges. And it's really hard for them to think that far ahead, but we really have to get them seeing, that important piece, that concept of permanence. And I wanted to figure out ways that you could really convey this without them just saying, yeah, that's another adult that's telling me, what I'm supposed to be doing or what I'm not supposed to be doing. And looking up some resources, I found this website called What's Your Story? And I think it would be really interesting, and, it could be even, redirected to the technology department, because I know the technology department in the middle school has done some really great things with creating public announcement, videos. But this is a website called What's Your Story? And it's a video contest for young people to highlight creative, impactful, safe, and responsible ways to use the internet. And, obviously there's a prize, and they have this idea of, hashtag. There is a deadline, which is coming up within the next month or so. But this is something that you could really relay over to the technology department and see who's interested and really get that ball rolling. But what I think is really interesting is they have these kids who really convey this information in a very impactful way. And I think this one is a really good example of it. It says, I'm an educated dude. And hopefully you can hear it while it plays.
Is there any good left of the internet? Press down and control H, all I see is hate, self-confidence deflate, and less than civil debates. The majority of people online are teenagers who've not matured fully, cyberbullies, dropout slackers, internet hackers, and drug-abusing rappers. But the forgotten message is the internet has a direct correlation to education, communication, and a supreme impact on our generation. Education is the key. I do agree, but with so many online resources, why stay limited to the textbook glossary? Let me give you an example. Chemistry professor hits you with a homework question. Class, I need the first step to finding a compound's concentration. Spaced out like a shuttle, your brain matter muddles. Wasting your paper ruling it and doodling? Why not just Google it? Tying ties, shooting from the free throw line, fixing broken game CDs, burning onto DVDs, solving the Rubik's Cube. I learned this all on YouTube. Thanks to the internet, I can say I'm an educated dude. Let me update my status, tell you what's the latest, inform you of what my current status. It's easier to communicate with apps, Facebook and FaceTime, where you can book time to face friends face to face over the internet and reconnect. Rekindle old friendships that may face previous death. Share a big event on your timeline. Find your own time to post a new line of your mind's design. My Twitter account translates my thinking process into 140 characters or less, and if I digress, I'll leave your mind to guess what ideas I have next. Is there any bad left of the internet? Give an immature teenager education and create an adult. Communicate with the bully and observe the opposite result. The internet is a composite, and the parts that are negative are what can truly make it positive.
So I think it's really powerful to show that there are kids who are explaining this instead of just possibly having an adult. And I think one of the quotes that said, give a child an education about this, and then they become an adult. They become aware. They become responsible about how they conduct themselves. So just finally, one last thing is, I wasn't even aware about this until I started researching a little bit. And there are some social media safety resources for parents. Google Family Safety Channel. It's actually, I believe it's a YouTube channel. Yes, it is. That gives parents some information about how to approach talking to your child about being safe on the internet, which I think is crucial nowadays and could be very helpful. Those who are on Twitter, Twitter also has a website for families and understanding what Twitter is and that it's a public space and protecting passwords, everything that I think is really important, especially putting yourself out there and, wanting to share your thoughts, but in a way that isn't controversial and isn't going to hurt you in the long run. Finally, one of the main ones, which I think is very prevalent, is the Family Safety Center for Facebook, and having the resources that you have for parents, teachers, and teens, be smart, use good judgment. I think these are all great resources that when I send you this presentation, these links will be there that you can use and actually put on your websites, and even the school-based, the main school website. These would be great ways just to show the community that you understand that this is going to happen and that you want to help your students be as safe as they possibly can be, while also being able to explore and learn about social media and how to present yourself on platforms in a positive way. So that really ends my training for you guys. I hope you learned something new, and I hope you apply something new to what I've shown you. I'm also going to ask that you fill out another form concerning this training, and please take the time to fill it out. It's going to help me in my practices to becoming better at training. Again, I wish this was face-to-face, but this is what we could do with the conditions that we were given. And I really hope that you took the time to absorb what, I presented to you, and hope that you can really apply it to your counseling practices. Thank you so much for listening, and hopefully we'll be in contact soon to see, what we can continue to work on. Thanks so much.